You see this chart that we have right here. Right now, the chart title reads monthly amount sales for Godfrey. But when I come over and pick another sales rep from the drop down, for example, I go for Medad, watch what happens. The values will update on the chart as well as the chart title. Let's go for someone else. I go for Aisha. You see the values will update as well as the chart title. So how do you make this dynamic? This is the data set that we are going to be using, and the first thing that I will do is to create a data validation right here. So I'll press Alt DL, that shortcut key on my keyboard. It will open this data validation dialog box, and I'll go for a list, and I will point to my sales rep names, click OK, and there you go. Now our drop down list is available. As you can see, you are able to pick from these sales rep names. The second thing that I will do is to highlight my table, and on the insert ribbon tab, I'll go to the charts and click in the drop down right here, insert column or bar chart. I'll go for a 2D bar chart right there. This is the chart, so I will resize to make sure that it fits my screen, and now I can make adjustments to the chart. Right now, when I click in this chart, you can see it is actually referring to this table. So what I need to do is to write a VLOOKUP function somewhere where I can now refer this particular chart. So I'll come over to this cell and start typing equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value will be anything that will be selected in the drop down, F4 key to make it absolute. The table array will be this entire range, and for the column index number, I'll momentarily point to this cell, and I'll come back and tell you why I'm actually pointing to that cell, comma, and we shall be doing an exact match. So I close off the VLOOKUP, hit enter key on the keyboard. You can see that right now I'm getting an error simply because I haven't given the column index number. So what I need to do is to head over to this table and count how many columns it has. So I'll put a 1 here, and this is our second column, this is our third column, this is the fourth one, and this is the fifth column. Let's go ahead and select a particular sales rep from the drop down. Let me go for Medad, and there you go. You can see the January sales for Medad are returned right here. So I can drag this formula to these other cells, and all the Feb, March, and April values will be returned as well. Now I'll come over to the chart, and instead of pointing to this table, I'll actually point this chart to this particular VLOOKUP function. So I lift this one and bring it into this range of cells, and there you go. You can now see that it's only Medad values that are showing on the chart. Now let us try to clean up this chart. I'll get rid of this axis right here, and also I get rid of these values on the axis because I want to activate data labels. Let's also get rid of these grid lines. Right click on any of these bars, go to format data series. We can decrease the series overlap until there is a gap in between the bars. So I'll keep reducing all the way through up to around 22. Let's click in any of these bars, right mouse click and add data labels. For now, we can test our chart. I'll come over here and pick another sales rep name. I go for Godfrey. You can see the values are able to update on the chart. So to bring in our chart title, I'll head over to any of the cells and start typing equals. I open quotes. I'll say monthly sales amount for, I close quotes. I concatenate this one with, I open quotes. I put a hyphen in there, close the quotes. I also concatenate this with any value that will be selected in my drop down. So when I hit enter key on the keyboard, you can see now we have a text that reads monthly sales amount for Godfrey. So what I need to do is to come over to the chart, click in the chart title, head over to the formula bar, I'll say equals, and point to the cell that has this particular text. When I hit enter key on the keyboard, you can see our chart title shows up on the chart. Now if I come and change this particular sales rep to Medad, just as an example, you can see that the values update on the chart as well as the chart title. Now that we've finished setting up our chart, we can actually hide all these values that we do not need. So I'll highlight and make this font white. I also do it for this particular value as well as our VLOOKUP values right there. If you liked this video, give it a like, leave any comments, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you in the next one.